Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Katie with Katiehossyoga,
I'm Maria Perri with Wellness Springs.
and today we are on our fourth agreement of our 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And our agreement today is always do your best.
And I know every week I'm saying, okay, this is my favorite agreement. No, this is my favorite agreement. This one has been with me, I think, since childhood. This was a principle that my dad gave to me, really, so way beyond the 4 agreements. And he just said, you'll have a happy life if you just always do your best. And if what you do is, in everything that you do, is what you would want to have done to you. You know, I mean, it's like a Christian principle, but it's like, you know, yeah. So even like in service, like even from the beginning, it's like, you know, I treat a patient the way I would want to be treated, or I would want my mother to be treated. Yeah. And I think like having that as a guiding principle, I don't know, it's just like almost a guarantee that success will flow from that, and your own satisfaction and happiness too.
I couldn't agree more. I was raised exactly the same. You know, everything you do, give it your all. Everything you do with all your might. You know, these mantras, these mottos definitely from church, I think. But the golden rule, I think we learned that. Don't we learn that in kindergarten? Yeah. I think that learning that as a young child, that definitely instills in you. And I think that those who do apply that to their life are successful.
I think it could get to an extreme where we think that we have to be perfect. And that's like where I think it gets to be a little bit dangerous.
Couldn't agree more.
Like truly my goal when I was in school, and my friends and classmates will attest to this, it wasn't to like pass a test, it was to get 100. Like I wanted to have a perfect score. And I think that that's dangerous. You know, I think that there's something about like doing your best where you know you're doing your best, where an outside outcome is not such an important influence. You know, it's your own satisfaction that you did your best that is the mark. And I think when you don't do your best, or when your best doesn't feel like it's enough, or, you know, it doesn't get you to where you're going, again, you're just really kind to yourself. You take it as feedback. Okay, so my best brought me here. What's my goal? You know, what do I need to learn? What do I need to do differently? Or do I need to shift my goal?
Right. Yeah. Couldn't agree more. And I think that thinking about the difference between your best and perfect is the key to exactly understanding this agreement. And he says in his book, under any circumstance, always do your best. No more and no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next.
No, that's so amazing.
You know, and it's like when you're sick, right? Yeah. When you're going through changes, when you're having an argument with someone, like when life happens, how do you always do your best? You know, but you have to remind yourself that your best isn't always perfect.
Yeah. And
he, in his book, goes into comparing this idea with athletes, Olympic athletes. Right? Olympic athletes are striving for perfection, but they're not perfect. They're not. And we have to remind ourselves that we can always strive to be our best, but perfect means that we are giving it our all in that moment, all the time.
I just had a conversation, and maybe the person I had the conversation with will be watching this, so I'm not going to identify them. But this person said to me, well, is that required? And like doing what's required is sort of like the bare minimum to get by.
Sure.
You know, and I said, well, probably not, but it's not your best, and it's not the right thing to do. So it's like, I think having that criteria of, you know, doing your best, it just sets a bar that's just just a great standard.
It does, you know, and it just goes to imply that there's no shortcuts to success. There's no shortcuts to happiness. You know, there's no quick fixes, diet pills, this, that, and the other thing. Like your best is having a healthy diet, treating your body with respect, waking up every morning and eating right, and, you know, not abusing yourself mentally. These are all ways that we can be our best.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think that it's a big question to ask yourself. And I challenged my students this week in yoga. And I said, think of one area in your life that you're not being your best. You're not giving it your all. I'm sure that we all have one area. Maybe it's our finances. Maybe it's our relationship with a family member, a spouse, or a friend. Maybe it's something going on in work. Like there's a lot of different categories in our life. And it's overwhelming to think to be perfect in all of those categories. Right? Perfection just seems overwhelming. And then we shut down and we just kind of give up. But rather than worrying about being perfect in every single aspect of your life, this week, pick one part of your life that you could do a little better and then start there. Right? That was my challenge this week in yoga.
Yeah, I think that's a great challenge. Sometimes for me, I have so many plates spinning, between like work and family and my own health and my horse and all of that. It's, I don't like to believe in limiting things, but sometimes I don't have the energy to put my best in every place.
Right.
So I almost prioritize, and my priority, I guess my priority scale sometimes is, what's the most important, what's going to have the most impact to reach my like ultimate goals, or what's going to have the most impact, for the people that I'm the most responsible for. So that, sometimes it's not possible to do your best everywhere.
Right. Like you said, the spinning plates. Right. And you have to, I don't know, I never spun a plate in reality.
Yeah.
But, I definitely.
Or spin a pizza. Yeah, it's spun a pizza.
But keeping that momentum going and giving it your all, it takes a lot of energy. Yeah, it really does. And then I think sometimes that's when we stop spinning all the plates and everything comes crashing down because we get overwhelmed.
Yeah, and then we just give up.
We give up, right? So that's why my challenge is to pick one thing. Don't worry about fixing every single thing all at once.
Yeah.
You have to pick one thing that you can focus on 10% more.
And then how do you pick that thing? How do you prioritize that thing? Like, what's your criteria for choosing that? What to focus on?
For me, it's the first thing that comes into my heart. Right? What is that one?
Okay.
What is that first thing in my heart where I'm like, oof, I know I'm not my best right there. I know I'm not my best. So that first gut instinct where it's like, you know what? I really want to wake up every morning and eat a healthy breakfast. Like that's something I don't do. And I know I could just do a little bit better and I could do that one thing. So for me, that's how I would choose how I would focus on it.
I guess I choose by what change would make the biggest impact.
Much more logical.
Well, yeah, there you go. So yeah, what would change would make the biggest impact? They said years ago when I was first starting my practice, they were talking about like if you wanted to grow your practice, you could either like maybe change the color of the printing on your envelopes, which would have very little impact, or you could go out and decide that you'd meet one person a day. Which puts you out there, and it's a lot of putting out there, but it would have the biggest impact. Right. And I guess somebody taught me that a long time ago, to put your best efforts in the place of your life that would have the biggest impact for you. Like, so for some people, really like making a commitment to stop smoking or to lose weight or to begin, a practice, like it's hard to get started.
Oh, it's always the hardest to walk through the door.
Started.
Just walk through the door, and that's the first step. And picking that and choosing it, and then you have to keep spinning that plate. And the discouragement and whatever happens along the way, find comfort in knowing that you're doing your best. And then you can always reevaluate. If you are on that weight loss journey and you get discouraged and you break your agreement with yourself, take a step back and say, okay, that was a falter, right? Let me do my best next. Let me do my best tomorrow. Keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
Keep practicing it because it doesn't just happen because you want it to.
I think that that's so true. And especially starting a new business, you must you're like living it now like more than ever. And even like when somebody has really chronic pain and they come to me, the road to getting better doesn't start here and you just get better. it's like little ups and downs, little ups and downs, and little ups and downs. And I think that, and even in a relationship, there's just always like little ups and downs, and in your own
Little ones and
relationship,
big ones.
right, in your relationship with yourself. And I think that the person who succeeds in business, in relationship, with their own personal goals, I think is the person who can do their best in the downs. I
And
do.
that's exactly what you said, right? It's never going to be the same from one moment to the next.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to have those low moments, and that's when we have to take solace in this agreement and tell yourself, okay, I'm really sad right now. I'm mad at myself. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. And rather than giving up, rather than letting those emotions rule you and control you and prevent you from moving forward, take stock in knowing that you're just not your best right now.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But taking the opportunity to apply the concept later, 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, tomorrow, right? Come back to it.
Exactly. And I think I like to believe that this is encouraging, that it's not discouraging, but it kind of never ends. Like whether you're no,
It's true.
Like, you know,
It's
whether,
so true.
whether you're new in business or you've been in business 100 years, you know,
Right.
you know, whether you're young, whether you're mature, like older, you know, I like to say older, not mature, not old. You know, the challenges about health and about relationships and about life and about all of that, it kind of doesn't really ever end.
Right.
So that principle of doing your best and sort of riding the waves of like really when things are flowing and going well, and then, you know, kind of gathering it together when they crash, I think it's definitely a lifetime journey. So it's not like you do your best until you get to a certain place and then you stop. It's perpetual.
It is. And I think we mentioned this before, but when you are moving forward, right, that's when you have the momentum and you will hit roadblocks.
Yeah.
When you're still and you're not doing anything and you've given up, it's almost easy because there's no
challenges.
There's no challenges.
Yeah.
So when you're moving forward, obviously you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to hit challenges. And that's when our practices come into play. That's when we can really apply these concepts. Love that idea. So do your best. And whatever that means this week, you know, if you can, take that one concept and apply it to that one aspect in your life, you know. And
Can people comment and tell us, like,
oh, I love that.
yeah, could we invite them to do that? Like,
I'll find a way.
Yeah.
On YouTube. Well, yeah, we're on YouTube. So
Yeah.
if you watch this on YouTube and you have taken the challenge, please let us know,
Yeah.
you know, what area in your life that you did do a little bit better on after applying this concept.
Or just listening to these concepts, if they've impacted you in some way.
Yeah.
You've been able to make a tiny change in your life. If these talks have made a difference in some way.
We'd love to know.
Yeah.
And I guess this is our fourth and final agreement. But you've mentioned that there's a fifth agreement.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward to discussing that next week.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool. Wonderful. Thanks, everyone. So that's it for our chat. And now we will close with a little meditation to tie all four agreements together.
I love how prepared you are.
I printed it this week.
It's so interesting, like, you know, like the logical one, and I just fly off the cuff, and you're really so heartfelt but so prepared.
I like to be prepared. Yeah, it helps, you know, it helps my flow. Okay, everyone. So let's begin in a comfortable position. If you're sitting in a chair, allow your head to reach up to the sky. Shoulders gently melting away from your ears. Taking just a few slow breaths. Your eyes are closed. Simply observing the sound of your breathing. Allowing the body to soften. Your only job for the next few minutes is to breathe and follow my voice. The last agreement, number 4, is always do your best. I love this agreement because it takes perfectionism out of the picture and has us instead focus on reaching for excellence. Knowing that the best we can do will change from time to time. What we can expect from ourselves, say when we have the flu, is very different than when we are at the very top of our game. And so keeping in mind and knowing the times that we need to be a little gentle with ourselves and when we can really push through. And that being gentle with ourselves is actually coddling ourselves. And we can do better as we strive for excellence. But notice again how there's no perfection in excellence. Even Olympic athletes mess up and still win. If this is something that you would like to explore a little further in meditation, tune in a little deeper. As we focus on this idea of always doing your best and leaving it at that. Imagine the stress and cares draining away from your body. With every exhale, notice a sense of lightness across your chest and shoulders. And that lightness grows as the stress, cares, and worries drain away completely. But if you need to hold on a little bit of stress or worry so that you feel safe, then that's okay. Hold on as much as you need. Let the rest of the stress and worries drain away. As you breathe in light and exhale insecurities. Just breathe. Just be. As you drift away for a time, I'd like you to imagine yourself in a room. And in front of you is a small child. Maybe they are 2, 4, or 7 years old. You see that little child standing there in front of you. That little child wants to do something difficult, like ride a bike perhaps, or learn how to hop on one foot if they're very tiny, or maybe even hula hoop. Imagine yourself showing the child how to do that skill, whatever it is that's difficult for them that they've chosen to do. And as you do, notice how you encourage them when they get frustrated or upset because they're not doing it right. And you smile. Give them a hug and let them know that they're actually doing pretty darn good for having never done this thing before. Encouraging them to be their best. And I wonder, what words would you bring to share with that child that will encourage them to overcome those frustrations, disappointments, and obstacles? As you hear those words in your own inner mind, you may find yourself naturally wanting to nod your head. Yes, in agreement with that. Yes. Yes, those words from you to that child resonate with you. These are the words you speak to yourself to encourage yourself to do those things as you strive for excellence. Letting yourself drift a little now, you allow images to come to you or step into a scene in your own life in the present where you are striving for excellence, working every day on being your best. I'd like you to consider your best like running a marathon and what that would look like in your life if you brought that marathon runner's mentality to all that you do. Because most of us could not wake up this morning and go out and run a marathon, could we? So why is it that so often in life, when we're faced with a new challenge, maybe something we've never done, what we think we should just get up and be able to finish it right there? And then, like it's no big deal. But it's a marathon, and marathoners know they need to train. They don't run full marathons every day, but they do put in the miles. In some days, when you run the miles, just drift by so easily and effortlessly. And on other days, they're a struggle to get it done. Or you may not feel like putting on your shoes at all because perhaps it's raining outside. But if you want to run that marathon, you must strive to be your best. Your best also means that you pay attention. And if you have the flu or you're not feeling 100%, then that is a good day to take a hot bath instead, or to curl up on the couch, to give yourself permission to rest and relax. And notice how there's no guilt or shame. There's no self-judgment or regret. It just is what it is. You're not feeling well, and you leave it to this. As you lie down at night and put your head on the pillow to go to sleep, you can go to sleep quickly, easily, sleeping deeply because you know you've earned your rest. You have done your best, and mistakes are merely opportunities to create a positive solution the next time. And so, categorize, file it away to use another day. And as you look back on the past week, months, or years, you can see that you are getting better and better all the time, each and every day, in so many ways. And you know this because you see yesterday through today's better you. And so you take another deep breath and repeat the words deep inside your mind. I am getting better and better each and every day in so many ways. Reminding yourself to always do your best. We'll take a big inhale together. Breathing out. thank you so much for joining me on this journey. And we look forward to tuning into you next week.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Bye.